So we've got 2 power generators down and 1 more to go. The last one is off in the distance at the east end of the desert, so we want to run on over, and you'll have to use a couple of beacons on the ground to know which pathways you can walk on and which ones you'll sink in. It's pretty clear, it's a pretty direct path, I should say, towards the east end of the desert. You really just need to send out those 2 beacons, the one that's right where I am right now, and the one that's sort of across the desert leading to the next platform that you can ascend. That's really the only running across the sand that you need to do. This area here is occupied by a couple of Ampulus, and they can be incredibly annoying since it's a very open area. One thing I suggest is you can defeat this first one here. I sort of just messed up big time there, but what I was meaning to do was trigger it to see you and come on over and then run out to the top of the platform. Thus, it won't be able to climb on up and defeat you. You could take this little pathway by the side, this narrow corridor here, and there's a couple of bugs for you to catch. Number one, there's these Lanayru ants right here that you can pick up, and just on the other side of this pillar, or on top of the pillar, there's a sand cicada, and you want to just sneak up to it and capture it. I can't really see it from this side because it's on the other side, and I was sort of blindly doing this section. I didn't really realize there was a sand cicada when I was initially recording this, but I do pick up this sand cicada on my way back from this area. So there is a bird statue right here, so you want to save your status. And there's an Ampulus over there, and if he sees you, if you just sneak around the corner of this building, it will ram right into the building, allowing you to defeat it. Before heading to the building, I'm going to go and pull down this lever over here, and this opens the gate here. This allows for quicker access to the original entrance of the Lanayru Desert from the Lanayru mine. It's not really that useful since, much like many of the shortcuts that we create in the Lanayru Desert, it makes sense that now there's quick navigation, so you don't have to go through the long drawn-out process. But at this stage in the game, since you've already done it the first time, you don't really need to do it a second time. There is a yellow choo-choo here, and there's a number of Ampulus in the quicksand below. You could roll some bombs over or throw some bombs to defeat them, and the barrel over here has some bombs for you, sort of signifying that you should use bombs when defeating these Ampulus. Much like the previous building that was very similar to this one, there is a boulder in the center of the room, and it contains a time shift stone. Unlike the previous room, though, we don't really want to hit this one. I mistakenly hit it right now. The reason being is the other end of the room here has a massive hole which we cannot cross at all while there is no while we are in the time of the past. When we are in the time of the present, there is this massive sand area that prevents our route from passing. However, what's different about this area is, much like earlier in the Lanayru Desert area, the sand is shifting. It's moving along the pathway here, and if we defeat one of the Ampulus nearby, its shell will continually move across the sand as well. And what you can do is, once you've defeated an Ampulus, just run on over and climb on top of the shell of the Ampulus and just let it ride you over to the other end of the room. Once you are here, you can blow up the boulder here and break the barrels if you'd like. And if you climb up on the side over here, you could just run back on over, and there's a wooden or a little crate here that you can push down, allowing you to quickly reach this end of the room. There is also a treasure chest nearby, and if you open it up, you'll get a random piece of treasure. This particular treasure chest had an Elden ore. I'm not sure if they'll all have Elden ores, but the fact that there is an Elden ore means it's a common treasure that will be here. What we really want to do is, as we saw, there is a little generator on the other end of this room, and just like we did in the previous building, we need to pick up one of the Ampulus eggs and send it over to the power generator. Because there is the large gap in this room, we can't carry it over or anything like that. So what we'll need to do is, just like before, we'll need to use the beetle, and we'll grab onto the Ampulus egg and send it across. Before doing so, you can defeat some of the Technoblins in this area and open up the various treasure chests that are found here, and you will get some extra rupees. Afterwards, pull out your beetle, just like this, and just go ahead and grab the Ampulus egg. It doesn't really matter if it's sparking with electricity while you are grabbing it with the beetle, because you're not actually touching it, it's the beetle that's touching it. And you just want to send it over to the electric device over here and just drop it right along, right above the orange platform. You could have actually done this before making your way across this large gap, but I just did it this way since, I don't know, played this game 4 times already, and that's just the way I've always done it. Afterwards, just hit the little Ampulus egg into the device, and just like before, the gate will open, allowing you to reach the next room. This area is pretty self-explanatory. It's just like before. Stick your sword in, turn the power generator, and insert your sword. My Wii got sort of wrongfully calibrated for a second there. I was like, keep twisting the Wiimote and it wasn't working. But this will activate the third of the power generators, the final one. There's also 2 treasure chests in this room, one small one and one big one, so be sure to run on over and open them up to get some goodies. I believe the small treasure chest has some rupees, I want to say, in this case a blue rupee, while the other one, as you probably would have guessed by now, contains, yes, a rare treasure. Not really rare treasure, a monster horn, which is not the most common of treasures, but it's fairly common. So this is pretty much it for this building. We have all 3 generators done out of the way. If you really like to, you can actually run on over to the power generator and solve the puzzle now, and well, you can enter the first dungeon, or the third dungeon, or the next dungeon. However, there is one small little side quest we can do right here in the Lanayru Desert, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. If you looked at your map, you would have found that there's this sort of narrow corridor pathway along the northeast corner of the Lanayru Desert, and there's a secret in this area, and we can now reach that area now that we have some bombs, and we could have reached it earlier, but I just wanted to get the 3 generators out of the way. Back over here, this is that sand cicada that I was missing before, and if it's not obvious enough, the sand cicada gives out a large buzzing noise, just like cicadas do in real life, and you can always tell when they're nearby. If you'd like, you can go and dig up these soft soil spots to find some more Lanayru ants. I mean, this is an easy way to just milk these if you'd really like to. You can just dig up some, capture them, and then go back into the nearby building, and then rinse, wash, and repeat. It's a good way to load up on them, so you'll never really have to worry about them, and you can do the same thing for the sand cicadas as well. Making your way over near the grass area here, you'll find some Gerudo Dragonflies. So once again, you can use your bug net to grab these. I didn't really explain this earlier, but these ones seem to be more sensitive than most bugs in terms of Link. If Link is moving quickly, they'll quickly fly away, and they could be kind of tedious to capture. Anyway, if you look at your map, there is a corridor in this area, as you can see on the map right there. Furthermore, there's an area on the ground that is, well, it looks like it's just sink sand, but truth of the matter is you can run across. And if you follow this pathway, there is a crack in the wall right here, and you can toss a bomb, revealing the entrance to this little corridor of sorts. There are 2 goodies for us to find here, but unfortunately only one of them can be acquired right now. The second of which we will need a item that we are not going to get until much later on in the quest. So just journey through this little corridor here. You'll find a number of these yellow choo-choo, and at the end of the corridor there's a rather large yellow choo-choo. You could just defeat them just with sword slashes, or for the very large ones, just to save time, I sort of just like to just roll a bomb, especially these yellow ones, because you have to split it into so many pieces and eventually defeat it. So I find you are better off just using bombs. Here is a treasure chest here, and it's an important one because this one doesn't just contain random treasure or rupees, it contains a piece of heart. So if you've been following along with the walkthrough, this should be piece of heart number 7. Because we now have 7 heart pieces, an 8th heart piece will give us a whole new heart container. So really at this point you could just enter the Lanayru Mining Facility, and usually I would just continue on with the main quest. However, because an extra heart container could be very valuable at this point in your quest, I'm going to be doing some additional side quests back out in Skyloft. In particular, now that we've captured some tumbleweed treasures, there's also new upgrades we can also get that could be quite valuable for your time in the Lanayru Mining Facility, which is the next dungeon. So our next destination before even returning to the sky is back at the large power generator. So make your way on over, and once you pass this north area, just like as I've done a number of times throughout this video and the previous video, always look out for these tumbleweeds, just because, you know, it becomes annoying if you wanna if you have to come all the way back here much later on in the quest just to capture a tumbleweed to get a single upgrade. So it's a good idea to milk them. In fact, I think it's a good idea just to keep entering this the room, the nearby door that led to the second power generator. Just keep entering that area and going in and out, and capturing some tumbleweed. In fact, if you eventually want to upgrade every single one of your items to their maximum capacity, assuming you never like burn a shield or break a shield, you are going to need 16 tumbleweeds. So that's just to give you a good idea of how much of these of how many tumbleweeds you really want to work to get right now and spend the time to do so. Before going to the power generator, pull out your map and you'll see the 3 symbols. You'll see like the lightning symbol is out directly north. You'll see that like fiery symbol is to the southeast, and the first power generator symbol was to the west. And we basically want to tilt it just like that. So the first power generator symbol was the one directly to the west, so we align it up so it's all the way on the left. The next one is actually what I considered power generator number 3, but that was all the way at the southeast part. And then the final one was directly to the north. So just keep tilting your Wiimote properly, and this will open up the next dungeon. So you can go ahead and enter the Lanayru Mining Facility, but as I mentioned, I'm going to be returning to the sky to get some extra goodies. So join me for that, or just head straight into the dungeon. I will see you guys in the next video, or perhaps the next chapter if you want to continue with the main quest.